All right, welcome everyone to the second ever Bluefield College Coaches Show. I am the voice of Bluefield College, Bailey Engel, and joined as always by head coach Dewey Lusk. And coach, let's get right down into it. Actually, let's get the applause before we get right into it. There we go. Coach, a tough game a couple of days ago against Bethel. What'd you make of it?
Bethel's got a very, very good football team, but we also have a good football team. Made some mistakes, but there were so many positives coming out of that. What about DeMarcus Wimbush and the Appalachian Conference Player of the Week this week? 16 tackles, just playing dynamite on defense all over the field. Lowell Patron, 8 catches, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Out there making ESPN highlight reel catches, one-handed catches. So many positives. Jordan Huntley coming out for football this year, rushing for 71 yards. But against good football teams, you can't make as many mistakes as we made. And we're a lot closer to getting where we want to be than it appears. But we're going to continue to work hard and try to cut back on those mistakes and get ready for Pikeville.
That's the first time I think I've ever asked you about a game where you didn't talk about punting. And I think Tanner Griffith actually had a couple of big punts. I wanted to talk about that with you.
He did a tremendous job as well, and he is been a kicker all his life, and we asked him to work on punting, and now he's averaging 41 yards a game punting, doing an outstanding job. But another positive, because that changes the field position, and he's done a great job of that.
DeMarcus Wimbush was a guest on our first ever show, and like you said, the Appalachian Division Defensive Player of the Week, and before that, the first ever NAIA All-American in Bluefield College history. 16 tackles in that game against Bethel. How is he able to keep having that success so consistently?
Well, we expect that out of DeMarcus, but even more importantly, DeMarcus expects that out of himself. And, these last couple years, his grades, his GPA has just gone over the top. And all that goes hand in hand. And he's doing his part in the classroom. He's leading on the football field. He's worked very hard in the weight room. He's a student of the game. And, when you have the mindset that you want to do something, and when DeMarcus puts his mind to it, he's going to get it done, and he's going to continue to do that week in and week out.
Keeping the focus on the positives here, you and I were talking right before we got this show started. It's been a while since Bluefield College has been able to throw over 300 yards in a game. Now, granted, it was a loss, but Aiden Wilder looks like he can command the field out there.
And Aiden's doing a wonderful job. And you've got to remember, even though Aiden is an older young man, it's first time here at Bluefield. It's his second ball game playing. And there's several of those folks that are getting their feet wet in this tough league. But he made some tremendous throws. He had a couple throws that he'd be the first to tell you he would like to take back. But, it's on the learning curve and learning our system and what's going on. And he's just going to continue to thrive. But he's doing a nice job, and we're very proud of him.
Rams 0-2 right now. Looking at the film of the last 2 games, what are some of the biggest things that Bluefield College can work on?
First of all, we can't turn the ball over. We've turned it over 9 times in 2 games, and you cannot do that. We had 4 fumbles last week in the second half, and you just can't do that and expect to win football games. So take away that. We've got to tackle better defensively. And we can't give up the big play. And so, you take 6-7 plays out of that ball game, the other 60 to 70 plays we're playing pretty sound football. But the game of football is a game of inches, and it doesn't take much. And we have to concentrate and focus and improve upon not making those critical mistakes. And if we'll do that, and when we do that, we're going to be winning some football games.
Turnovers, like you said, have been kind of a detriment to Bluefield College in that first game against Faulkner. There was kind of a circus pick 6 that put the Eagles up. And then, unfortunately for Bluefield last week, I believe it was 5 straight possessions that ended in a turnover. How can you work on ball security throughout practice?
Well, you just have to continually talk about it. When we're we're scrimmaging out there. You know, we constantly talk about having the ball in the right hand and the right arm and carrying it correctly. You just have to make a concentrated effort to secure the football. And some of our fumbles in the situations are with some kids that are out there for the first time, and it's a new league, it's a new game, and it's different. And we just have to make a concentrated effort day in and day out to secure the football better.
Offensive line was a question for Bluefield last year. There's still some growing pains this year. What is your status on the offensive line as of right now through 2 games?
Well, we're actually better than we were last year on the offensive line. But once again, we faced a very good, one of the top defensive lines in the country last week. You got to remember Bethel was 10-0 in NAIA playoff, Bluegrass Division winners, champions, and they returned 2 guys up front off a very solid football team, and we struggled blocking them. We did. They're very athletic. They're very big. They're very strong, and they gave us fits. They played in our backfield all day long. We're going to continue to get better game in and game out, and hopefully the injury bug doesn't hit throughout the year so they can have a chance to improve. But you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep working at it, and for it to get better.
Well, there were some flashes of good blocking from the offensive line, and there's really no doubt about it that offensive front has gotten better because when Aiden Wilder had the opportunity to step up in the pocket and heave it down the field, there were some great plays made, one by our guest Lowell Patron, who's going to be joining us in just a bit, but also by Jaquan Ebron. I want to give him some love. The sophomore has played very well.
He's played well. He has made some really nice grabs the last 2 weeks. And across the middle and on the outside, there was 2 or 3 catches. You're sitting there thinking, well, that one's incomplete. No, he's up in the air. He's got it, and he's coming down with it. But he has done a really nice job. And once again, here's a young man that started as a freshman, and now he's a sophomore. And he's balled in and doing what we're asking him to do. But a tremendous athlete and a good young man, and we're happy he's on our side.
Now, Jordan Huntley's getting a lot of the touches. You've been talking about him as a running back. Do you think he's going to get the bump up to starter, or is it going to be still with Caleb Gibson?
Well, you know, we're running back by committee,
right,
trying to figure it out. But he has definitely earned the right to start. He'll definitely be out there playing this Saturday. But, you know, when we've ran 79 plays, I think, the last 2 weeks, that's a lot of football plays in a game. And you've got to protect those backs because it's an 11-game season. So you need to play 2, 3, 4 backs in the backfield just to keep them healthy, because if you're asking somebody to tote the mail 35 times in a ball game and make blocks and pass protection and catch routes out of the backfield, you saw the hit that he took on the outside last week on the swing route. It's tough to play just one person in that position, but he'll definitely be one of them out there.
Now, when you're playing defensively, it seemed like Bethel could air it out a little bit. Has improving the secondary been another thing that you guys want to do throughout the week?
Well, you know, we graduated several folks from the secondary last year, so there's some new faces back there, and there's some growing pains right now. And we have been in position on several of the pass plays that we've gotten beat on, and we just haven't made the play. And we've just got to continue to work at it. And it's a timing thing, you know, when to look back, when not to, and those kind of things. And the more you get thrown at it and the more opportunity you have, the better you get at it. And we just have to keep playing and gain more experience.
Well, speaking of the secondary, there were a couple of third downs, and unfortunately the game ended up being lopsided at 49-24. But at that point, Jonathan Green leveled a couple of huge hits to get Bluefield the ball right back.
A couple critical third downs that looks like the ball's going to be completed, and he comes out of nowhere to make the play. And once again, Jonathan Green's a junior, a Wiley veteran that's been out there. And we need his leadership and his experience to help carry the secondary right now.
Focusing on the defense, any updates on Sean Kolb, who was out Saturday against Bethel?
We're hoping that he'll be ready to go this Saturday. Of course, we take Mondays off. He looked okay on Sunday, but we'll just see how that leg holds up on on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
You guys played at Mitchell Stadium on Saturday, and the atmosphere was actually pretty good, unfortunately, for Bluefield. It wasn't the outcome that you guys wanted, but how was it playing in front of that brand-new video board at Mitchell Stadium?
Oh, that video board's awesome, and I know the kids have enjoyed it, and you all have done a great job of getting things ready quickly because it was up last Thursday, and I'm anxious to see what else y'all are going to put up for the kids.
Well, I got to figure something out, Coach, to be honest with you. We got about 2 weeks to do that. When there is a video board and there's these kind of shiny new facilities, do you showcase that when you're bringing recruits around from all over?
We will showcase that, absolutely. I mean, it gives you a Division I type atmosphere when especially echoing through the mountains, and you've got a big board up there, but it gives a big-time feel. And that's, you know, we've got a great college to sell, and it's a great education. But, you know, kids like shiny things.
Yeah.
And when you've got a nice video board up there in a historic stadium, that can't do nothing but help you in your recruiting efforts.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. And, you know, you get a Monday off. We were talking about that earlier. What do you do on a Monday where you don't have to practice, everybody has the day off?
Well, you make sure you keep up with Shirley Mutter and all the paperwork that she requires of you. But you also, we watch film all day on Pikeville and come up with a game plan. And you know, we're sitting here looking at two deeps. You got to get two deeps into Bob early in the morning. And yeah,
there was a problem with two deeps last week, wasn't it? We got it a little bit late. I remember we had a whole staff meeting, and Coach Cackless was like, shout out Bob for getting the two deeps in the right time.
Well,
or was it
ours
Faulkner?
Ours was in on time.
Ours was in on time. Okay.
Don't want to throw anybody up under the bus, but ours was in on time.
Right. Moving on to Pikeville, this is an interesting game for Bluefield College. In the first 2 years you've been here, unfortunately, it's been a loss, but they've came down to the wire. Have you kind of broadcasted this game as a rivalry for your players?
There's no doubt it's a rivalry game, and you know, I was looking at the history that you all put up on there. Bluefield's never beaten Pikeville, and the last 2 years, 2 years ago, we had every opportunity to win that football game. End up getting beat 20-17, and last year, defensively, we were just injured. Coach Cackless, he was putting defensive backs in. We had 7 defensive backs in at one time. We ran out of defensive linemen, and but fought like crazy and ended up losing that one 41-35. It was going to be whoever had the ball last. They're 0-2. They played 2 really tough teams. They opened up with Murray State, a money game, and then played Reinhardt last week and lost in overtime. So Pikeville, once again, another Mid-South team that's going to be very, very good. But we tend to play them well. So hopefully we can go down there. It's a battle of 2 0-2 teams. And so everybody's hungry for their first victory on the year. Hopefully we can go down there and get that first one.
Now, you mentioned it right there, what I was going to ask next. Both teams 0-2 right now. It's a rivalry game. Does the 0-2 factor really play a lot into it? I imagine that everybody is so hungry to try to get their first win of the year.
No, once you get out there, the whistle blows and you kick it off, it's another game, and you're fighting like crazy to win, and it's competitive, but the records are somewhere over here.
Right, okay.
And you're playing to try to win. I mean, it's the next play, it's the next series, and but no, you can't go out there and think, oh, we're 0-2 or 2. You've got to play, and you have to come to play hard in this league every week.
Well, the last time Bluefield College went to Pikeville, Kentucky, that wasn't as much of a shootout as it was. Bluefield College had the best chances to win that game. Was that one of the more heart-wrenching games of 2017
Oh,
for you?
there was no doubt. I mean, you know, we break a 25-yard run there, I don't know, probably in the third quarter, and we just drop the ball and fumble, and they pick it up, and I think they run it in or whatever happened there. Then at the end, well, another one early in the fourth quarter, we're down near the goal line, and we dropped a pass right there going in the end zone, and that had been 6 more points for us. Instead, we got to settle for a field goal. And then on fourth down in that particular game, not much time left, and we hit a post route across the middle, right between the two numbers,
Oof.
and he would have walked in and laid on the ground. So we have to finish. We have to learn how to finish, and if we get you in position, you got to make the play and you got to finish, and that's what we have to learn to do.
So other than learning how to finish, what's going to be the biggest key for the Rams to get the win this weekend?
We need to go down there and have fun and play hard. And, I say it every week, but it is so true. The team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win the football game. And that's what we have to concentrate on. We need to fix us right now. And we can compete with anybody in the country. We just have to eliminate the mistakes, continue to play hard, because that's one thing you notice. They didn't quit. We played hard right till the end. But we have to do that for 4 quarters and be more consistent with our play.
Well, Coach, good luck, and expecting a big win this weekend on the road against the Pikeville Bears.
Thanks
for coming
Appreciate you.
Dewey Lusk, everybody, the head coach of Bluefield College football. All right, up next we have a talented wide receiver coming to the table, Mr. Lowell Patron Jr. Lowell? We're going to find a way to streamline this whole everybody getting into the booth situation one day, yeah. Only the second show we're trying to work out the kinks, including this one. All right, a play-by-play for those watching at home. He is now in the booth, scooting over. Oh, there we go. All right, almost there. And there we go. Applause, everybody. First of all, man, great game on Saturday, and thanks for joining us. Even in a loss, how are you able to have such a great game?
I just go out every day and try to play my hardest each and every play I get.
Well, you made just incredible statistics. I got to believe that's one of your best games you've had all time. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but you had 8 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and how about this, everybody? 198 receiving yards. I can't remember a wide receiver that's had a great game like that. And I hope I'm trying to think what you'll try to say here. When you're making all those receptions and you're going absolutely off, are you thinking about how many yards you got?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's the right answer. That's absolutely the right answer. And it was a different game for you, Lowell, because last year you only had 12 receptions, but 6 of them were touchdowns. Why are you such a red zone threat?
I guess I'm a bigger body. I'm bigger than most corners in the conference, and I had the athleticism to get it up and go get the pass.
You go up and get a lot of these passes. Is that something you've been able to do ever since your Little League days, where there's these one-on-one balls and you're just going up for the jump ball and you haul a lot of them in?
Oh, actually, I played quarterback going in Little League and some high school. So I just started playing receiver my senior year of high school.
Okay.
So yeah, I just watched a lot of tape of different receivers and whatnot.
I looked you up on Google right before this, and your huddle tape came up, and you were actually running a jet sweep against my high school, New Kent, and you were taking it into the end zone. Do you remember that game? I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
Did you guys beat New Kent?
Yeah, we beat New Kent.
Absolutely. That makes sense. They always did. Let's talk about your story coming to Bluefield. How did you make it here in the two Virginias?
My senior year, my high school coach, Coach Chavis, he's good friends with the old Bluefield coach, Coach Everson. And he just called him up, and I came on a visit, and I fell in love with the campus and all the players. They felt like brothers to me.
Right. And since then, obviously, that's 4 years ago now. Has your game changed at all?
Yes.
How?
Yeah. Before, I was just out there just playing, and then now, this past summer, I watched a lot of film of different, receivers, different coverages, so I can understand the game more, so the game will slow down for me.
I got to imagine that you've changed physically as well. Have you changed your workout regimen since you're 18 years old?
Yeah, I work out about every day.
Every day. What's a typical workout for Lowell Patron Jr.?
I get up at 6 in the morning, and I go to my old high school, and I would just run a mile every day, work on footwork and stuff, and then I'll lift about noon or something like that. Then around 4, I go back to my high school, work out with our team, and I have a coach, Coach Grooms. I worked out with him over the summer, and we just did different like releases, different ball drills and whatnot.
Is there a moment? Obviously, I don't like waking up at 6 o'clock every morning. Is there a moment when that alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and you're just like, maybe I'll do this tomorrow?
You think about that, but like overall, you look at the big picture. So I just look at that.
So when you go out on these workouts and you're talking about when you're doing them back in Smithfield or Newport News, are you going by yourself?
I started out going by myself. Then my brother started coming with me. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
That's another thing we want to talk about. Logan Patron, for those of you who do not know, is a defensive end for Bluefield College, a freshman this year. What's that been like to play with your brother?
Oh, that's cool. Because when we was little, we always like played a video game and we would create each other on the same team and whatnot. And now actually being on the same field as him is amazing. Because this past Saturday we was on punt return or something like that, and I lined up right beside him, and it just felt crazy.
That's so cool. Actually, so have you played with him before on an organized team? Because there's about, what, a 3-year age difference?
About 3, yeah.
3? Okay.
My senior year, he was on JV, so we never.
So this is the first time you guys have ever played together.
Yeah.
I'm sure your parents love that.
Yeah, they love it.
That's awesome. I saw on Twitter where you said that Jonathan Green is the best hype man you could ask for. What makes him such a good hype man for you?
Because every play, I always hear him talking about, oh, they can't guard 10, this and that. When I scored a touchdown, he was like, I caught it, and he was like, oh, go score. And I just hear him at like every game, and I just appreciate him for it.
But I also saw on Twitter that you guys battle every day. Can you take us through one of these battles that you have with Jonathan Green in practice?
That's just back and forth every day. Some days I'll have the best of him, some days he has the best of me. We just like to compete each and every day.
Is there any sort of trash talk between you guys?
I don't really talk trash. I don't really say anything. But nah.
Okay,
really.
but it seems like you have somebody in mind. Who is one of the biggest trash talkers on this Bluefield College team? You're not throwing anybody under the bus. This is all fun.
I'll probably say DeMarcus.
DeMarcus is. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually pretty shocking. Okay, DeMarcus Wimbush. You have worked well with Aiden Wilder this year, and you had moments with Bryce Verbal as well as Kason Witt last year. Is it tough to build chemistry with a new QB?
Yeah, because the timing is different for each quarterback. But we work a lot. Me and Bryce work a lot this spring, and then me and Aiden's been working a lot going into the season, so we just got used to it.
Now, what is something that the primary starter last year, Kason Witt, what is the biggest difference between Aiden Wilder and Kason Witt?
I just feel like Aiden's getting the ball out to everyone more and quicker and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does when you were talking about being on special teams, you're obviously a touchdown threat for Bluefield College. Is that something you still like to do, though, is try to run down the field and try to hit somebody?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't really like tackling, but if I go out there, I'll make a tackle every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you like it?
I don't know. Like, I guess that gene got passed to Logan or something because he likes doing all that stuff. Yeah.
Do you guys so now that you guys are at the same school, do you guys get to hang out a lot?
He doing his own thing. We hang out every now and then, but he's doing his own thing. I'm letting him do him.
Are you pretty competitive with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a memory of maybe playing football and kind of getting the best of him, like just in the yard back at home?
Every time we went out in the yard, I always got the best of him.
Every time?
Every time.
Do you think he would contest that if he came in here?
Yeah, he going to contest it.
So now we're going to move on to our fast questions, kind of my favorite part where we just kind of close out and go with these rapid-fire questions here. So for Lowell Patron Jr., what is your favorite movie?
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights. Okay. Do you like the show?
Yeah, I love the show.
The show is great, right?
I like the show better than the movie.
Oh, I love my girlfriend's in attendance. We absolutely ran through that show in about 3 weeks. Absolutely loved it. Favorite musical artist?
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Favorite football player of all time?
All time. Probably Deion Sanders, somebody like that.
Why Deion Sanders?
This way his attitude was, that primetime attitude.
What's your favorite version of Deion Sanders? Because he played for so many teams. We got Falcons, Cowboys, 49ers, Ravens, Redskins.
Well, I'm a Redskins fan, so Redskins. But my favorite really is the Falcons because he was playing baseball as well, too.
Yeah, that is incredible. We'll never see that again.
Yeah.
Your go-to pregame meal?
Whatever they got in the calf, really.
But you don't have a preference?
Nah, it's just whatever.
Okay. Who is the best dancer on Bluefield College football?
Best dancer. Probably Greg.
Greg Amos?
Yeah.
Okay, he just stepped in here. The funniest guy on the football team?
DeMarcus and Sarge.
So DeMarcus and Sarge.
Yeah.
Both of them in attendance today. Favorite part about Bluefield College?
I like the small campus environment. Everybody's like, you know everybody. And then you really can't wander off and whatnot. Just like how everything is like real small.
Favorite moment while playing Bluefield College football?
Probably Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite catch that you made out of the 8?
The one-handed catch towards like the opposite goal line.
Yeah, when you're taken down right at the 26-yard
Yeah.
line. It's a good answer. Prediction for the game on Saturday.
I'm going to win.
Great answer. Lowell Patron, everybody, closing out the second ever Bluefield College Coaches Show. And thanks, everyone, for coming out. We're going to be back here next Monday at 7 o'clock. And until next time, take it easy, Rams fans.